Clues by Sam. It is Tuesday and we're gonna do a median one today. If you don't know what Clues by Sam is, it's a daily puzzle game where you have 20 people who may be criminals or innocents, and you gotta use the clues that they themselves give you so you can figure out what they are. I can already see Hilda's clue, but before I start, if you want to play the game, you can check the link in the description, and here we go. Hilda tells us that only one of the 4 innocents neighboring Terry is Mary's neighbor. Terry, who is here, has 4 innocent neighbors among the 5 total that he has, and one of them is shared with Mary, who is one of his neighbors. So Mary shares 2 neighbors with Terry, Stephen and Olivia. So we know that one of them is a criminal and the other one is innocent. But what that also tells us is that Mary, Xavier, and Zed are all innocent, because there's only one criminal neighboring Terry. Now Mary tells us that there are more innocents and criminals in column A. Column A, who still doesn't have anyone that we know about, so let's keep that in mind. Xavier tells us that exactly 1 innocent in column B is neighboring Steve. Column B here, where Steve is in column C and has 3 neighbors in column B, but only one of them is innocent. We still don't know who though, so let's leave it at that. Zed tells us that 2 pilots have a criminal directly above them. Pilots, we have Karen, who's a pilot. Oh, there I go with my bad scanning. Linda is a pilot. And Wally is a pilot. Okay, so Linda, who is a pilot, has an innocent above her. 2 pilots have a criminal directly above them. Since there's 3 pilots, all of the others have to have criminals above them. So both Ruby and Gary are criminal. And now we know that either Linda or Wally are an innocent and the other one a criminal, because Steve has only 1 innocent neighbor in column B, right? 1 innocent in column B neighboring Steve. Yeah. We don't need Zed's clue anymore. Now Ruby tells us there's an odd number of criminals on the edges. Okay, we're gonna remind ourselves of that later. Gary tells us that Floyd is one of 2 criminals in the corners. Okay, Floyd is in a corner and is a criminal. And other than him, there's 2 more people who could be criminals. So either Vicky or Bruce, who are also in corners, are a criminal, and the other one is gonna be an innocent. So now we know there's 2 criminals in column A. What else did we know about column A? More innocents and criminals in column A. Since there's 5 people total in column A, and 2 of them are criminals already, all of the others have to be innocents, or else the clue will be false. So both Karen and Phil have to be innocent. Wow. So I guess we don't need Mary's clue anymore. Now Phil tells us that both innocents above Xavier are connected. Okay, so Xavier is here, and we know there's only 2 innocents in column C. And what I said was wrong. There's 3 innocents in column C. One of them is Xavier, but there's only 2 of them above Xavier. And they have to be connected to Mary. So either Isaac or Steve is an innocent, but Emily is for sure a criminal. Emily just accuses Olivia of not being innocent, and that has to be true. So I guess Olivia is our criminal, and since she is a criminal, Steve is our innocent. And because Steve is an innocent connected to Mary above Xavier, then Isaac is a criminal as well. Okay. Steve tells us that Karen has exactly 2 innocent neighbors. Where's Karen? Here. And we know who they are, Hilda and Phil. So Linda is a criminal, and because Linda is a criminal, Wally is an innocent. Okay, we don't need Steve's clue anymore. Now Wally tells us that there are more innocents among guards than any other profession. Guards. Scan, 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 scan. Janet is a guard. Mary is a guard. And Xavier is a guard. Okay, so we have 2 innocent guards already. And one more who could be one. There are more innocents among guards than any other profession. What other profession has 3 people? I guess we gotta look at 2 people in a profession because... No, because we don't know about the last guard yet. But now there's only people on the edges missing. So what did we know about the edges? There's an odd number of criminals on the edges. How many do we have already? 1, 2. Starting with Emily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But there's 3 more who could be criminals. We don't know. So let's look at professions. Doctors. How many doctors do we have? 1, 2. 2 only. How many farmers? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so farmers are good candidates to cross-reference with guards because how many innocent farmers are there? 1. Where's the other? Gary is a criminal, so that I guess wouldn't matter if Deborah is a criminal as well. What else? What other profession? Emily. Painters are already all criminal, unless the clue mentions criminals and not innocents, which is very possible because I usually switch them. Innocents among guards and any other innocents. Pilots. How many pilots do we have? There are innocents. We have 2 innocent pilots already. And 2 innocent guards. So that tells us that Janet has to be an innocent. Or else they would be in the same number, both pilots and guards of innocents. Now Janet tells us that Bruce and Floyd have an equal number of criminal neighbors. Bruce has 3 neighbors total. What about Floyd? Floyd has 3 neighbors total as well, and 2 of them are criminals. And they have an equal number of criminal neighbors, so the last neighbor of Bruce has to be a criminal as well. And now we can count the criminals on the edges. Is it criminals? Odd number of criminals on the edges. Okay, starting with Deborah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 and 6 with someone from here, so we know that Terry has to be our 7th criminal, so we have an odd number. Now Terry tells us that Phil has more criminal neighbors than Bruce. Where's Phil? Phil has 2 criminal neighbors already, and if Vicky were to be an innocent, then they would have the same number of criminal neighbors, so Vicky cannot be an innocent because it's Bruce. Phil has more criminal neighbors. Okay, so Vicky is a criminal and Bruce is our last innocent. That was really quick. A median one in less than 8 minutes. All green. Nice. I've missed those times. But yeah, I guess this is gonna be it for today. I'm gonna be here tomorrow with more Clues by Sam, but today I also have another video coming out, which is a recording of a live stream that I did, which is a cool puzzle platformer game. So if you want to check that, stay tuned for the channel. Subscribe if you want to see more Clues by Sam and other games sometimes. And yeah, thanks so much for watching.